I'm Alex Molnar, and I'm a professor of education policy at Arizona State University, and I'll be moving to the University of Colorado at Boulder next year. My interests now, as they have been for a number of years, have to do with school commercialism and privatization in education. One of the things that is of enduring interest to me is the idea of justice and fairness. I don't think it's unique to me. I think a lot of us in education and a lot of us in this country take those principles really seriously. And so when you look at education policy, or you look at particularly at school commercialism or privatization, one of the things that is of concern and of interest to me is the extent to which market forces move away from social justice, move away from the idea of providing every child an opportunity to learn as well as they might and to achieve as much as they can. There's always a place for people to chip in. I mean, this country has a long history of both private education and private charity. And I don't know of anybody who would seriously suggest that we should do away with either. The question is whether or not the lack of funds available for public purposes is in some way also connected to the extraordinary wealth being accumulated by a very small percentage of America's population. So that the charity is in effect a fractional response of the amount of benefit received by folks at that level of income and wealth. There is no real fix for the funding issue that lies outside of the values of the citizenry of this country. The fact of the matter is, the simple fact of the matter is that in order to provide a high quality education for children living in poverty, for working class children and so on, it is necessary to take money from people who have more of it and distribute it to people who have less of it for their benefit. We do this all the time in a variety of ways. When we construct railway lines, when we build highways, when we construct libraries, when we build public buildings of any sort, provide public services of any sort. These services are inherently redistributive, necessarily so. I mean, the wealthy among us can afford private tennis clubs. They can afford to build their own libraries. To a large degree, they can get on their private jets and fly wherever they wish. So these things that are provided out of public funds raised through tax dollars necessarily mean that people who have more are going to need to give more to provide for those who have less.